Welcome to this Team Eagle training video. My name's Lloyd Ross, and this topic is why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you taking the time to watch these training videos? Why are you wanting to build an Isagenetics business? Why are you, what motivates you? What's really driving you internally, not externally, I just want a new handbag. I mean, whatever it is you want to whatever drives you doesn't make a difference as long as it drives you. But why are you really here? Like, what is going on in your head, in your heart, that is driving you to want to do this? This is what we're going to be covering in this training. Okay, why? Your why. You're like, why you're doing this? Because if your why is strong enough, you'll figure out the how. Okay, if your why is strong enough, you'll figure out the how. Now, if you don't have a pen and paper, you're not taking notes during these training videos, I really encourage you to do it, because there's going to be a lot of juice that you're going to be able to get out of these training videos as you go. And just when you have a pen and paper, my friend Fraser Brooks says that a short pencil is better than a long memory. And so if I say things and you think, wow, that's really important, I'm going to write that down. If you can't write it down, you're probably not going to remember it. And the way you're going to learn in these videos too is that you're not going to learn everything first go straight up, and you're not going to memorize it and know it straight away. So you got to let your subconscious catch up, or your conscious catch up to your subconscious. You got to let things sink in. You got to think about things. And learning is not just you learn it as soon as you see it. You'll learn this over time. So it is good to revisit these videos, because you'll get out of them something different next time. There's this old saying, a man or a woman never dips his toe into the same river twice. Firstly, because it's not the same river, because the tide is going and it's always changing. But the second reason is he's not the same man. Okay, so if you watch these training videos again in 12 months, I promise you'll get more out of them. If you watch them again in the next month, you'll get more out of them. Watch them again the next 6 months, you'll get different stuff out of them. You'll always take different things from these messages, because you'll be a different person. But make sure you take notes and listen to this, because these training videos are really important, okay? So why are you here? I'd love to know. I'd love to know why you're here. What's driving you to do this business? Okay, I'm going to talk to you about tapping into your why, and then we're going to do a task. Okay, so stick around to the end to do the task. I hope you're doing the tasks too. Don't skip them and just go to the next training video, because if you just keep learning, it's like if you learn, you take a left step. You learn again, you take a left step, a left step, a left step. If you keep learning, you'll just turn around in circles, right? So if you take a right step, which is just action, 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 no learning, you'll also go around in circles. So you got to learn and act. Learning, action, right? So this is about why power. There's so much power in your why. It's so important to know why you're here and what's driving you. And once you do and you tap into that, nothing's going to stop you, right? You're going to be unstoppable. And that's the word to be, unstoppable. Nothing can stop you, okay? That's when you know the fire inside of you burns brighter than the fires around you. And that's when you know you get unstoppable, right? Why power? You'll have good days and bad days. So it's important to have a why. So your why trumps your excuses. Okay. If you've got excuses, your why is not important enough to you. Okay. What's really interesting about that is that when you find your why, you'll find your way. When you find your why, you'll find your way. I do find it interesting, and whatever your why is, we're going to unpack it during this exercise and doing this, but it'll start off, for a certain thing. My why started off with, just interested in getting in shape first. Okay. Wanted to support my sister in her little business enterprise, right? I was like, this will be fun. My next why I went to like, oh, maybe we could share and make an extra 150 bucks. My why initially, our why was, hey, what if we could just get our products paid for with the people we refer? Free products. That's okay. That's great. That was my first why. And it was good. Got me through the first. I just want to see if I could do it. The next why was, well, we had a meeting with Andrew Logan and a coffee, and he told me that he told me then that he made $8,000 the week before, and he was getting a lot of freedom, time flexibility. I was like, whoa, what if we could make 1,000 a week? So my why expanded to, what if we could make 1,000 a week and we could invest it in shares and become millionaires a lot faster? And that was our next why. And the why that was driving that was freedom, flexibility, choice, not having to work forever, a backup plan, stepping out of our jobs and our business and do something that really lights us up. And that's where it kind of went to after that. And then eventually the why was like, well, what we want to see if we can master this. And that was this drive to mastery. And also, in a way, driver for me was, I didn't want to go back to a job. That's a very strong why. I don't fit in jobs. I like being an entrepreneur. I like having my autonomy is our biggest why now. So what drives me the most is me being able to do what I want when I want. That's a big driver for me now. My autonomy, super powerful. And of course, our team drives us now too. We want the same for them. So if you're watching this, we want the same for you. And that drives us a lot. Like Alicia and I were driven by, we want our team to experience what we've experienced. We want to help them get to their goals, because it's just such a gnarly, cool, fun adventure to go on. It's just unbelievable. And we want that for people. So in our team, Team Eagle. So we do show up, and what drives us is our team big time now. So you can see how the evolution happens, right? So I don't expect you to have these big juicy whys at the start. For us personally, it was like we'd always like write down what we wanted to achieve. And I'd draw pictures of what I wanted to achieve. It was just step by step and unlock something else and then something else. And we're 10 years in. Our why was so strong internally that it got us through all the, the excuses, all the how over time. But I think the most important thing I can impart to you is this: on your journey, if you want to make it to 10 years, you've got to have fun. You just have to have fun in every moment. Well, most moments of your business, just enjoy it. And yes, there's going to be things that aren't enjoyable, of course. But if you can have fun at your launch parties, and you can enjoy even the training video. We used to sit together and watch training videos just like this. And we used to watch them on the weekends and then take notes and then do some stuff. And then when we're going to events, we'd have fun. We'd have fun with the people we took, and we'd have fun posting on social media. We just have fun wherever we go. And I think that's a big thing to take away from this. So how do you define your why? A strong why is what will help you to succeed. Okay. What is your why? Think about who or what motivates you to build your business. Who or what motivates you to build your business? Ask each member of your team what motivates them to build theirs, right? And now I'm asking you, as part of our bigger team, what motivates you to build your business? A well-defined why will help you and your team to overcome unexpected obstacles as they arise. So what I'm going to do with this training video is I'm going to embed a bonus training as part of the why. And it's my talk that I did at Global Celebration 2023 in Orlando called Pluto, Mission to Pluto. I'm going to embed it somewhere to watch, but you'll see if you watch that video, that'll help you tap into what's driving you. Because I share very openly and transparently what drives me. And it's a story from when I was younger. And there's many things that drive me. I mean, wanting to get Alicia out of a job drove me. Wanting to master stuff drove me. Wanting to free myself drove me. Wanting to get validated by the people believed in me. I mean, there's so much that drove me. So whatever it is, you'll tap into it. But I will put that video there. It's only about 35 minutes. So I got a lot of caught a lot of interest from the 7,000 people that watched it live at the event in Orlando, and I'm sure it'll do the same for you. And it'll help you with getting really locked into what Team Eagle's mission is, which will be awesome. So, it's just going to help. Once you tap into this, it'll help you overcome unexpected obstacles, right? So what I see happen to some people is that they'll say, oh, my why is my kids, right? This is a flipping excellent why, by the way. Like I've heard, we don't have kids yet. We're working on that. But I've heard people say, when you have children, it really gives you this another leg. It's like, really why I want to do this, because you're doing it for someone else. And that's cool, right? But what I find is when they say, oh, my why is my children, and then they send out a message the following week and someone says no, and then they quit. I'm like, really? You said you're doing this for your kids? It just shows how much you really love them. Like, it's pathetic, honestly. So if you are really motivated by your children to do this business, I would be very shocked if you quit after 2 weeks because you don't really care. I know you care about your kids, but you don't really care, because if you really did care about them and their future, nothing would stop you. You'd show up to every team call, you go to every event, you'd have fun along the way, you'd take them with you, you'd involve them. So if you say your why is your children, don't BS it. Step up to the plate, right? And show. Don't tell me what your why is. Show me. Your actions will speak louder than your words. We never listen to people's words because talk is cheap. You've got to be able to walk your talk. And we always watch people's feet. We don't watch their mouth. So you could tell me the most illustrious, beautiful why ever, but if your actions don't match that, I call BS. And I call it too. If you know me, I don't muck around. I don't like to have cappuccino level conversations. I want to see people actually take action. So it doesn't have to be deep. It just has to be backed by truth. So if you say your why is this, show me with your actions. Don't tell me, show me. Right? So that's when you've got a serious why. It doesn't have to be like deep. It's just serious. Like if you say what your why is, and you don't do anything, it's bullet. You've made it up. It's rubbish, right? Tap right into your heart and figure out what it is driving you. So here was my why. And what's fascinating about this is a couple of years ago, before I left I was in property with my dad in a business and ended up leaving there to go full-time Ask Jenks and scale this business up. Right. And, and so before I left the office, it was 2018, mid-year, roughly, what's that? 5 years ago now. And I was digging around the office, changing things, taking things out, just moving out and so forth. And I was going through my old emails and I found this email. And we're given a task just like this, and just like the task I'm going to give you, to get very clear on why we're doing this. And it was to write a very short paragraph, a couple sentences on why you're doing this. So here's what I wrote. I found the email, and as I found it, I actually started to well up in tears in my eyes, because I realized when I dug this up and I found this, that we had achieved this. And I was like, oh my God, we flipping achieved it. I can't believe it. I've wrote this down once. And I mean, you want to do it and you feel like you can, but it was just this like, whoa, we did this. So here it was, right? This is what I wrote. My why is to ensure that my fiance, obviously married Alicia now, and married 7 years now. So this is 7 years ago. I must have wrote this, or 7.5 years ago. My why is to ensure that my fiance no longer has to ask for annual leave. That was a real pain in the ass, right, for her, and can retire herself from her 9 to 5 job, where her skills and talents are wasted every day. I felt they were wasted. She felt they were wasted. Her boss felt they were wasted, right? He's like, you're wasted here. And I was like, oh, what a waste of talent, So that was a big driver to ensure that I no longer have to work in my current business every Saturday. All right. It's funny, I'm recording this on a Saturday. But what's fascinating is, when I was in property, it was cool because I get to work with my dad. That was awesome. And we get to rebuild a business together, which was one of the coolest business experiences ever. It was very challenging, very hard, but it was fruitful. And I used to have to go to property runs every Saturday, and it's just, I didn't feel fulfilled or filled up by helping people buy houses. It just wasn't, it just didn't fill me up. And it wasn't, even though I ran a lot of the business and did a lot of the sales and did lots of parts and rekindled it, rebuilt it. I did a lot of work to do that personally and as a team, but it wasn't mine still, right? So I still had that. It wasn't really mine. So I had this yearning that I wanted to build my own thing, right? So when I say I didn't want to work every Saturday, I didn't want to work in that business every Saturday. Okay. When you find what you love, man, it's hard not to work. Let me tell you, I find it hard not to work. You want to do stuff. So anyway, yeah, I didn't want to, but this part here, I didn't want to have to write business to create income each and every month. And yeah, well, in business, you do have to write it, but with this type of business, you don't have to do sales every week to sustain your income. That's the difference. So in sales, in my property business, I had to personally be there to do the sales to make the money. And it was lumpy. So I'd get the settlement every, say, 2 or 3 months and get paid cash. And then I'd do another one. So you're only as good as your last sale, and you got to keep, you got to show up. It was just that type of money making was just not scalable and had no leverage, right? And then I went on to say, to help our friends create financial freedom in their lives. So my sister Brooke and Alicia's younger sister Melissa, completely free. Helped others too, like Seth and Reese and Vanita, and I mean, my dad's made a 6-figure income. Others, Susan Thyssen from Europe, and I mean, there's a whole range, right? And now many others, like Mike is getting full-time income, and Rose and Liam are on their way, and Franny and Shane and Alana and Sam, and like, if I haven't said it, Daniel and Casey and Katrina, like, I don't want to say all the names, but you are. We've helped people create financial flexibility and find something fun to do, and I've that means we've achieved to help our friends create financial, I would say, flexibility, in their lives, and become better. I think that's wonderful, right? And we didn't know any of them before we started. Obviously, we knew Melissa and my sister, but the rest of them we met along the journey. Travel wherever we please, right? Travel wherever we please. That's the why. Travel wherever we please. Guess what? Like 2 weeks' time, we've just created the most gnarly trip to the States. We're going to the ClickFunnels event. We're going to Cancun for a week. We're going to Vegas for a few days, and we're going to the head office to do a mastermind. And that's like a 3-week trip. We've designed it ourselves. We just decided we want to extend, and then we're going to go to Bali, and we're going to go to Thailand after that in October. This is a real life thing we do now. Like, if you've watched us this year, we've been to Fiji, we've been to Bali twice, we've been to where else did we go? We're in Orlando. I mean, we've earned 3 fully paid expenses trips with Isagenix this year alone. We've earned free trips with Isagenix. We've been to Maui. We've been to the Machu Picchu. We've been to Fiji a number of times. We've been to Queenstown. We've been to flipping heck. We've been to Orlando twice. We've been to Hayman Island, Hamilton Island. We even won a trip to Tahiti, Bora Bora. Yeah, I mean, we've won so many trips. I couldn't tell you. It's just been the most gnarliest life. If you look at our life over the last, since I wrote this 7.5 years ago, we've traveled we've been through Europe twice, we've 4 times. It's just been crazy. So we actually travel whenever we please now. We literally do. And so what's interesting is you always want what you can't have. So it's like, enough travel. That's what a cool place to be, right? First world problems. But this is really important. So that we've achieved so far. But this last bit, ready? Have a fulfilling mission on this earth to genuinely help people transform their bodies and their lives through financial freedom. It's a mission to Pluto. We're on mission. And when you're on mission, that is really, if I could take all of this stuff, this is all important. My why, all this stuff is very thoughtful and important. But the mission, we're here to make a change and to make an impact and transform people's lives. And if you're on that mission for others, nothing's going to stop you, right? For your kids, sure. For your family, sure. For everyone else, you matter. Like if you get on mission, you will matter to so many people. And that gives you so much, a real sense of significance, that you are significant on this earth. And there's a real good driver in that. So all this stuff here I wrote, there's like 4 or 5 sentences there. That was what was driving me back then. I got pretty clear on it. I felt it in my heart. I knew what I wanted to do. Right. So we got together and we just went after it. And 7.5 years later, I pulled this out of this was 5, must have been, a few years later, I pulled this up and we'd done it. Like network marketing can be a 4-year career if you get after it properly. But truth be told, I was happy to have achieved this in 10 years. So when we started, we had a 10-year mindset, and now we're coming into our 9.5 years in. I can safely say it's definitely well and truly been achieved. This whole thing has been achieved. And so I want to tell you that when you get clear, you can achieve it. All right. We all have a bit of self-doubt, lots of self-doubt in whether we can do it or whether it's for us, whether we're cut out for this, whether all these things come up, this negative self-talk. But I promise, get very clear and tap into your why when you're going through challenges. Whenever someone said no to me, or someone didn't come to an event, or we went to a launch party and no one showed up, or I got stood up at a coffee catch-up. So I got, I didn't, people quit. I mean, we've been through everything. And because this why we're so strong, it never stopped me. It never stopped Alicia and I. It never stopped us. It never stopped us. It never stopped us. We're unstoppable. Unstoppable. Because when you achieve this, which is where it gets more powerful, right? People say, oh, my why, I've achieved it. No. Because we've achieved this, now we're sustaining this. Once you get a taste of this, let me tell you, you don't want to give it back. Once you go and fly first class in the plane, you can't fly economy. When you have a life like we have, you get a taste, you ain't giving it back. So your why gets stronger, and now we're even more unstoppable. We're just like going. We're just unshakable now. I've never been more unstoppable than I am now. So it just gets better and better, right? So I just want to show that because we did this, and now I want you to do this, right? So, I guess there's a picture there. Yeah, I was talking about our life and what we've achieved. A funny way. Look, there it is. Training on stages all over the world, winning trips, winning awards. We've been in Nashville. I mean, it's just wild. There's us at Machu Picchu, like I said. There's us with Eric Worre, who wrote this book, right? We had a chance to earn some cocktails and a function with him. I read that. Remember when I told you I read this book? Now we're flipping meeting the author. How amazing is that? Just there's been so many incredibly magic moments for us in the last 9.5 years, and I just want you to experience that. I want you to experience the magic of life. It is so magical. It's just incredible, the adventures you can have. If you've got a vehicle like Isagenix and you get after it, you can do this. And there's no better journey to go on, right? We're juiced up in it. We're soaked in this. We're soaked in this life that is fairy tale, and you can do it, but you've got to put the work behind it, right? So that's why I'm sitting here on a Saturday. What's it? It's 3:30 p.m. on a Saturday, and I'm sitting here recording video after video, just because it's part of the mission, it's part of the team. I'm happy to do it because this is the price you pay to do this life. It's why we talk to people. It's why we continue to show up. It's why we do the weekly calls. It's why we enroll and rank advance and go to events and train and coach and teach and win the trips. We do all that because it's such an important mission. Okay. So get clear on your why, and you'll never, the how will work after itself. You'll figure it out, right? So this is what we did, like to get very clear on your why too, because our brains don't just think in paragraphs. Like if you think of this, you're like, it's a paragraph. Like people don't think in words; we think in pictures. So you think of this, like this is what I was envisioning, right? With Alicia, this is what we're envisioning in our own minds. But how it started was we put this thing together called a vision board. Now, if you've ever watched read the book called The Secret, or you've watched that, they talk about these vision boards. And before I started, I was like, vision board? I was skeptical. I was like, what? That's all like witchcraft, da da da. Well, turns out it bloody works. So here's our first vision board before we really got good at Isagenix. We wanted to win this trip to Uluru, Top Achievers. We wanted to win that trip. We were 3 years in when we did this vision board. No, yeah, we were 2.5 to 3 years in when we did this vision board, because this is us here in the middle speaking on stage at a UA event with David Wood about 2.5 years into our journey. We'd gone 3 starts, 100 grand a year, 3.5 years in, 3 years in. And we'd spoken on stage. So it must have been after that, because we got the picture there. And so we had this vision board. We wanted to win this trip to Top Achievers. Okay. Uluru, as Rock in Australia. And we wanted to go to this bar in Bangkok. What else? We wanted to go to Bora Bora. We wanted to become Isagenix millionaires, meet our newest millionaires. We cut that picture out and put it on the meet our newest millionaires thing. We want to go to Cabo. That seems like a cool place to go. And obviously Alicia wanted to stay home with our little dog Chili. Sadly, since passed away, but she got so many years with him at home. So that was what she wanted. She wanted to be at home with him for every day. We wanted to go to events. We wanted to go hit platinum and fly first class and be with our family. And this was and we wanted our dream wedding. Okay. So on this initial vision board, let me tell you what happened. Here's what happened. We won that trip to Uluru, which was our very first trip with Isagenix we won. And it was just game changing. It really got our belief up, right? We ended up going to Bangkok to this very bar. And we did a bike trip tour there too, because we had the freedom to go traveling. There's us with David Wood at Uluru. This is a little picture we took at our very first big event with Isagenix. It was like little people there, like managers or consultants, were just sitting there like poking around. Oh, there's so many people here. What if we can't do it? And they just all stopped showing up. Don't ever underestimate other people's ability not to show up. I was like, if we could just be here again in a year, we're going to be like 50% ahead. And then again. We just keep showing up and everyone just leaves. You're like, okay, now we can be like, it should rise to the top. It's so bizarre. Anyway, spending time with family. Alicia did get to leave her job. She got to spend every day with our dog Chili. And he was like my stepdog, married into him when he was a puppy. But every day, it was just beautiful. It was awesome, right? So good. We ended up winning an all expenses paid trip to Cabo. And then one of our friends, Warren and Arlene, who are like flipping super millionaires of Isagenix, they invited us on their yacht to go for 7 days on their yacht around the Sea of Cortez. What an experience that was. It was incredible. And what else came true? We obviously speak at events, family. We had our dream wedding in Thailand on the roof of the Barbaness, which was incredible. Just a wild, gnarly baller wedding. We ended up winning an all expenses paid trip to Bora Bora, Tahiti. Sadly, COVID came right when that trip was around here. So we got paid 12 grand cash instead of going on the trip, because we couldn't go because of COVID. So we got paid 12 grand cash. And we became Isagenix millionaires also during COVID. And a big check in our lounge room here, it shows that, right? We went Isagenix millionaire. We're number 350 or something in the company. And we're about to fly business class over to land. This has all come true, more or less. We haven't got platinum yet. That's our next goal. But this has all come true. Moving over to this side, this is my next, because it's good to kind of renew your vision board when you achieve a lot of stuff. So we achieved a lot on here. So we did another vision board. And on here, I've got big event here. I wanted to speak at a Range Rover, a white Range Rover, a red Ferrari, family, real bold love. This is us in our faith mission. Again, first class. On here is a 2 Common Club award, a platinum. What's this? I forget what this is. This is Man of the Year, and then a platinum award with Isagenix. I think what this is. So turns out this is what happened, right? This is how vision boards come true. They do. We bought a white Range Rover. You might see that in some of our stories. It's there. We bought that with our money from Isagenix. With our money from Isagenix, we bought a Range Rover. We own it now. What else happened? Didn't get the red Ferrari yet. We ended up, like, Alicia found her faith and, incredible community with church. Amazing. I spoke at the biggest event in Isagenix annual calendar in Orlando in front of 7,000 people only recently, only a couple of months ago. That came true. We got a Man of the Year award. We developed Team Eagle, one of the best teams in Isagenix, I feel. And I also just recently, only probably a month, 2 months ago, that's the award on the vision board. Here it is in real life. Oh my goodness. So I got to tell you, this hung up. These vision boards, when we printed them and created them, we put them on our bathroom mirror. Okay. So you'd see them every day. So what happens is if you see them, it makes you feel a certain, if you see them, you think them. If you think them, you feel them. If you feel them, you action them, because thoughts become feelings, feelings become actions, actions become results. And so if you see it every day, you vision it, and it creates like feeling in you, like I want this, and then it creates action. The actions will create results. Results will get you here. So that's why vision boards are effective from a subconscious level. They really drive you to create and do things. Now, all this is like external stuff, right? It is. This truly was what's driving us internally. So for Alicia and I, this was driving us internally. But this is fun to envision externally to give you the extra drivers, because we're big on recognition. We love recognition. So to get recognized for mastery, as I said, that was big. To get recognized, to be amongst the best of the best, we won. I think we came number one in Australia for the Bora Bora trip against all the platinums. I mean, we were the best in the country that for that event. We went for it. We came number one. So we have these self-set goals that we feel like we want to be the best, and that's just how we're built. And I think that it's a personal challenge. We don't always win, but it's a personal challenge for ourselves. So there are some external goals and drivers, and there's some internal goals and drivers, and there's obviously the why piece that's that internally driving. Okay. So the reason I'm telling you that is because it does come true. And this is why, if you do this, don't think it's witchcraft. Don't think it's fanciful. Don't think it's woo-woo and weird. It's real. But if you don't do it, you're not going to experience that. Okay. I want to tell you that this does come true. I've seen it time and time again with us and many, many, many other people, right? So that's the end of the training on why. It's not that long, but it's very, very important. It's the most important thing. It's the most important thing. This is what's going to drive all of your internal motivation. Okay. So here's the exercise. I want you to write out your why. Take a moment now to get a pen and paper and write out your why in one paragraph. And as you're writing it, you should feel like this burning desire inside of you in your belly. I had this burning desire in my belly. I want to do this. If these people can do it, I can do it. You know, I was so ambitious and hungry. I was like, come on, right? And so I want you to write out your why in one paragraph and post this into the Manager Factory Facebook group. That's our distributor group. Remember from the previous training? Post it in there and tell us what it is so we can help you achieve it, right? And create your vision board. You can either add an app on your phone, like the vision board app. There's lots of different apps you can use and add things on your vision board and then screenshot it and post that into the Manager Factory group. Or you can literally cut out pieces from magazines and stuff and actually post it on a physical one. Our very first vision board, I didn't put it in here, but it was probably a little one like this. And it was like, on the first one, we cut things out and pasted on with glue. Or right, our first one, it wasn't those two. And our very first vision board we did one each. Mine was like abs, and then hit the director rank with Isagenix, and then speak a little bit on stage. And this is all I had on there, right? And all those things came true. I got abs. I won a bodybuilding competition using the products. And then we hit director and then executive. And then I spoke for the first time on a stage. So even the very first vision board we did was imperative. And I remember we actually did cut things out and stick them. And we had it up in our room just here. We've been in this place for 11 years. And we've built our Isagenix business from this place, you know. So I've got fond memories. You look around, you remember what you did. You know, the first webinar we did was there, and just... it's incredible, right? So doesn't matter how big or gnarly your vision board is, as long as you have one, right? So I want you to create your vision board and post this in the Manager Factory Facebook group so we can see what you want and you announce it to the universe and we can help you bring it to life, okay? It's very important. So please go ahead and stop this video now. Go and do this exercise now before you go to the next training video. Go and do this. Put it together, post it in the group, and let's have a look at them, all right? And I'll see you on the next training video.